ادع إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضاه. In this lesson we are going to start الدرس الثاني والعشرون, the 22nd lesson. In this lesson we are going to speak more in detail about the mamnu' min as-sarf nouns. The mamnu' min as-sarf nouns. Previously we mentioned that mamnu' min as-sarf nouns, these are those nouns that are prevented from taking tanween. Mamnu', prevented, min, from at-tanween. Sarf is another name for tanween. So these are nouns which do not take tanween. And we did mention previously that tanween is something which is specific to nouns. So you don't find tanween on the verbs, nor do you find tanween on the huruf. طيب. So tanween is something which is specific to nouns. However, there are some nouns which will never take tanween. When we say there are nouns which will never take tanween, this excludes those nouns which might take tanween at times and might not take tanween at other times. So for example, if we had the word kitabun, or let's say we had kitabun. Kitabun has tanween in this case. But if we add al to it, it becomes al-kitabu. It doesn't take tanween in this case. Likewise, if we make it mudaf and we say kitabu Muhammadin, it will never take tanween in this case because it's mudaf. Likewise, if we said ya kitab, this is a metaphorical calling. You wouldn't really speak to a book. But if ya came before it, will be ya kitabu. So in these three cases, we see that kitab does not take tanween. Is this something permanent or is this temporary? It's temporary because kitabun, in other than these three instances, it does take tanween. So when we say mamnu' min as-sarf, we exclude these types of nouns, those that are temporarily tanweenless, we could say. Okay, so tanween is never found on mamnu' min as-sarf nouns. And there are various types of reasons and causes why a noun becomes mamnu' min as-sarf. There are various reasons. The author, he has summarized these in the following page. So here, the author, he says al-mamnu' min as-sarf, those nouns which are mamnu' min as-sarf. And he has summarized all of the mamnu' min as-sarf nouns that are covered in this book. So he hasn't mentioned all of the mamnu' min as-sarf in the Arabic language. He's only mentioned the ones that he has covered in this book. So there are more. طيب. So we're going to start with this, and then we're going to go back to the first page and read, inshallah. So the mamnu' min as-sarf nouns, al-anwa'u al-atiyah, the following types, min al-asma', the following types of nouns, mamnu'atun min as-sarf, are mamnu' min as-sarf. The following types of nouns are mamnu' min as-sarf. And he has listed several types, which he has mentioned in this book. So knowing these is going to help us when we are reading this and when we are doing this exercise, inshallah. So the first type, Zainabu, Maryamu, Fatimatu, Aishatu, Makkatu, Juddatu. With all of these examples, number one, all of them are feminine proper nouns. So these ones are mamnu' min as-sarf for two reasons. They are feminine, mu'annath, and they are alamun. So alamun mu'annath, feminine proper nouns are mamnu' min as-sarf. The second ones, Hamzatu, Usamatu, Muawiyatu, Talhatu. These are names of masculines, but they are also mamnu' min as-sarf because they have ta marbuta. So we could say masculine proper nouns which end with ta marbuta are also mamnu' min as-sarf. This is the second type. So we have feminine proper nouns, and then we have masculine proper nouns that have ta marbuta. طيب. Those are the first two. Then number three, Uthmanu, Affanu, Sufyanu, Marwanu, Nu'manu. These are also masculine proper nouns. The reason why these ones are mamnu' min as-sarf is because they end with alif and noon additional. Alif and noon is additional. So we could title this one as any proper noun which ends with alif and noon additional. The alif and noon have to be additional, not part of the original root letters. So any proper noun which has alif and noon at the end, and this alif and noon are additional to it, then they are mamnu' min as-sarf. Proper nouns with alif and noon additional. Then the second one, kaslanu, jaw'anu, atshanu, shab'anu, mal'anu. These ones are adjectives. Likewise, if we have adjectives with alif and noon additional to their ends, they are also mamnu' min as-sarf. So if alif and noon is additional to an adjective, it's mamnu' min as-sarf. And if alif and noon is additional to the end of a proper noun, it's also mamnu' min as-sarf. The only difference between the two of these is this is a proper noun and this is an adjective. So we've covered 4. Then we have Ahmadu, Anwaru, Akbaru, As'adu. These are also proper nouns. These proper nouns all come on the scale of af'alu. Af'alu. They come on the scale of af'alu. Af'alu. Ahmadu, Anwaru, Akbaru, As'adu. They all come on this scale. This scale is something which is specific to verbs. So when you have a noun that comes on the scale which is specific to verbs, af'al, it becomes mamnu' min as-sarf. So any proper noun which comes on the scale of af'alu, or we could even be more general than that and say any scale other than af'alu which is specific to nouns, if we have a noun that comes on those scales, then they are going to be mamnu' min as-sarf. So it's not just af'alu. There's other patterns which are specific to verbs. If proper nouns come on any of those, then they're going to be mamnu' min as-sarf. Another example is yazid. Yazidu. This is also mamnu' min as-sarf because it's come on a pattern which is specific to verbs. طيب. And this is the same reason why the next one is mamnu' min as-sarf. Abyadu, aswadu, ahmaru, asfaru, akhdaru, azraqu. These are colors. And colors are type of adjective. They are adjectives. And they are mamnu' min as-sarf because they are adjectives. They are sifa ala wazn af'al. They come on the same wazn of af'al. So any sifa, any adjective which comes on the scale of af'al, or we could say on the scale of verbs, yani scales which are specific to verbs, just like this one, they are mamnu' min as-sarf. And from them is af'al. So these are mamnu' min as-sarf for the same reasons. The only difference is that these are proper nouns and these are adjectives. That's those two. Then we have William, Eduardo, London, Paris, Pakistan, Baghdad, Ibrahim, Ismail, Ishaq, Yaqub, Yunus, Yusuf. These ones are mamnu' min as-sarf because they are foreign proper nouns. A'jami, and they are alam. Alam, a'jamiyun are mamnu' min as-sarf. Then the last 4 lines, أغنياء أصدقاء أقوياء أطباء فقراء وزراء زملاء علماء مساجد مدارس فنادق مكاتب دقائق مناديل مفاتيح فناجين كراسي. These ones are all جمع تكسير, broken plurals, and they are mamnu' min as-sarf because for the first one they have come on the scale of أفعلاء. The جمع تكسير which comes on the scale of أفعلاء is mamnu' min as-sarf. The second one, jam' taksir, nouns that come on the scale of fu'ala'u, fuqara'u, wuzara'u, they are mamnu' min as-sarf. The jam' taksir that comes on the scale of mafa'ilu, mafa'ilu, they are mamnu' min as-sarf. The jam' taksir that comes on the scale of mafa'ilu are mamnu' min as-sarf. طيب. So rest like those scales. So the first one was af'ila'u. أفعلاء. Then we have فعلاء. فعلاء. Then we have مفاعل. Then we have مفاعيل. 4 scales. If the jam' taksir come on these 4 scales, then they're mamnu' min as-sarf. There's more than these scales, but these are the ones that we have covered, so that's why they are mentioned. Okay. أغنياء, all of the words I believe we have taken. دقائق is the plural of دقيقة. دقيقة means a minute. دقيقة is a minute. دقائق, minutes. Then we have فناجين. فنجان. فنجان is a teacup. finjanun. Finjanun is a teacup. So hopefully you've understood the mamnu' min as-sarf nouns, the different types of mamnu' min as-sarf nouns. So mamnu' min as-sarf nouns, to summarize, they are nouns which do not take tanween. This is understood, then we should be breezing through this text, inshallah, this passage that we're going to read now. Hamidun tabibun. Hamid is a doctor. Zawjatuhu mudarrisatun. His wife is a teacher. Mudarrisatun, because we're talking about zawjatun. If it was a man, it would be mudarrisun. Zawjatuhu mudarrisatun. His wife is a teacher. Ismuha Aminatu. Her name is Amina. Amina mamnu' min as-sarf because it's a feminine proper noun. Hamidun lahu arba'atu abna'in. Hamid lahu has arba'atu abna'in, has 4 sons. طيب arba'atu has 1 dhamma. Is this mamnu' min as-sarf? No, it's not mamnu' min as-sarf because it does take tanween. There are times where arba'atun does take tanween. The only reason why it's not taking tanween here is because it's mudaf. Mudaf ilayhi. Remember the rules for the numbers 3 to 10, they come as mudaf ilayhi. And the number here is mu'annath because the ma'dood is mudhakkar. Hum, so he has 4 sons, and they are Hamzatu wa Uthmanu wa Ahmadu wa Ibrahimu. Hamza is mamnu' min as-sarf because it's a masculine proper noun that has ta marbuta. Uthman is mamnu' min as-sarf because it's a proper noun that has alif and nun additional to the end. Ahmad is mamnu' min as-sarf because it's a proper noun that comes on the pattern of af'alu. Ibrahim is mamnu' min as-sarf because it's a proper noun that is foreign. Foreign proper nouns are mamnu' min as-sarf. So all of his sons' names are mamnu' min as-sarf. Ahmadu wa Hamzatu talibani. Hamza, Ahmad and Hamza are 2 students. He's not trying to say that they are part of the Taliban. He's saying that the 2 sons are students. Yeah, this is muthanna. Ahmadu talibun mujtahidun. Ahmad is a hard-working student. Talibun is the khabar, Ahmad is mubtada, mujtahidun is na'at for this. Wa Hamzatu talibun kaslanu. And Hamza is a lazy student. Kaslan mamnu' min as-sarf because it's an adjective that ends with alif and nun additional. Qala Yusufu. Yusuf said. Qala is a past tense verb. It means to say. This is fi'l, this is fa'il. Yusuf is the one that said. Qala Yusufu. Yusuf said. Indi khamsatu aqlamin. I have 5 pens. هذا قلم أحمر. This pen is red. هذا قلم أحمر. This pen is red. This is mubtada, this is khabar, and أحمر is na'at for the qalam. أحمر is an adjective. It's a color that comes on the scale of أفعل. It's mamnu' min as-sarf because it's an adjective that comes on the scale of أفعل. That's why it's mamnu' min as-sarf. And it means red. هذا قلم أحمر. شوف. هذا قلم أحمر. This is a red pen. وهذا قلم أزرق. And this is a blue pen. And this is a blue pen. أزرق is blue. أزرق is blue. وهذا قلم أخضر. And this is a green pen. أخضر green. أخضر green. وهذا قلم أسود. And this is a black pen. أسود black. وهذا قلم أصفر. وهذا قلم أصفر. And this is a yellow pen. أصفر yellow. أحمر red. أزرق blue. أخضر green. أسود black. أصفر yellow. قالت زينب. Zainab said. So here it was Yusuf said. قالت زينب. Zainab said. So قال is the same verb. They've added ta because the fa'il is mu'annath. Whenever the fa'il is mu'annath, singular, you add ta التأنيث الساكنة at the end of the verb for the فعل ماضي. عندي مناديل كثيرة. I have many handkerchiefs. مناديل is ممنوع من الصرف because it's on the scale of مفاعيل. مفاعيل. I have many handkerchiefs. She didn't say كثير, she said كثيرة, because the plural of irrational nouns is treated as a single feminine, singular feminine. هذا أبيض, this is white. وهذا أصفر, and this is yellow. وهذا أحمر, and this is red. وهذا أزرق, and this is blue. قالت لها فاطمة. Fatima said to her. قالت لها, said to. La here comes for the meaning of to. Said to her. Fatima is the one who said to her. So قال is the fi'l. فاطمة is the fa'il. قالت لها فاطمة. Fatima said to her. The ha here is going back to Zainab. أعندك. So if she's speaking to Zainab, she has to say عندك, not عندك. أعندك منديل أخضر. Do you have a green handkerchief? قالت, she said, لا, no, ما عندي منديل أخضر. I do not have a green handkerchief. ما عندي. The meme here is for negation, نافية. ما عندي منديل أخضر. I don't have a green handkerchief. قال طلحة. طلحة said. طلحة is ممنوع من الصرف because it's a masculine proper noun that ends with ta مربوطة. عندي مفاتيح كثيرة. I have many keys. مفاتيح is on the scale of مفاعيل, just like مناديل. Where is it? مناديل and مفاتيح are ممنوع من الصرف for the same reasons. Both are on the scale of مفاعيل. عندي مفاتيح كثيرة. I have many handkerchief. I have many keys. هذا مفتاح الغرفة. This is the key for the room. This is the key for the room or the room key. وهذا مفتاح الحقيبة. And this is the key for the bag or the bag's key. وهذا مفتاح السيارة. And this is the key for the car. The word miftah is come without tanween here, here, and here. Does that mean miftah, the singular for mafatih, is also mamnu' min as-sarf? No, it's not mamnu' min as-sarf because we've studied in this book. It's come at the start of this book. هذا مفتاح. If you remember, الدرس الأول, long time ago. هذا مفتاح. This is a key. So miftahun does come with tanween at times. So why isn't it taking it tanween in this case here? It's because this is mudaf, mudaf ilayh, mudaf, mudaf ilayh, mudaf, mudaf ilayh. Remember, the ones that are not permanently prohibited or prevented from taking tanween, these we don't say they're mamnu' min as-sarf. Okay, so miftahun does take tanween. So in this case, it's just not taking tanween because of the rule that it is mudaf. That's the only reason. It's not mamnu' min as-sarf. قال سفيان. Sufyan said. This is alam ending with alif and nun additional. This is a proper noun with alif and nun additional. This is why it's mamnu' min as-sarf. Sufyan said, في بلدنا مساجد ومدارس كثيرة. In our country there are masajid, many masjids and schools. مساجد ومدارس كثيرة. There are many masajid and madaris in our country. كثيرة is the na'at for مدارس. طيب. So we have جار ومجرور شبه جملة خبر مقدم. This is our خبر مقدم. مساجد is our مبتدأ مؤخر. مدارس is معطوف. حرف عطف معطوف to مساجد. كثيرة نعت for مدارس. طيب. وفنادق قليلة and few hotels. فنادق few hotels. طيب. مساجد مدارس فنادق أو ممنوع من الصرف because they come on the scale of مفاعل. مفاعل. أهؤلاء أطباء. Are these يعني people, you're pointed to a group of men and you're saying, are these doctors? أهؤلاء أطباء. Are these doctors? أطباء is ممنوع من الصرف because it comes on the scale of أفعلاء. أطبباء is the أصل. لا, no, هم مدرسون, they are teachers, جمع مذكر سالم. وهم علماء كبار, they are teachers and they are علماء فعلاء, that's why this is ممنوع من الصرف. كبار, they are big scholars. Okay, so this is the passage. And the aim of this passage is to give you examples of the mamnu' min as-sarf that we mentioned here. So now let's go to the exercises. تمرين, an exercise. اقرأ الكلمات الآتية واكتبها مع ضبط أواخرها. Read the following words and write them with the correct vowelization of the endings. So this is the test, whether you can differentiate which noun is mamnu' min as-sarf and which one is not. طيب, let's do this. Okay, Muhammadu or Muhammadun? Muhammadun, because it's not from the reasons. Khalidun. Maryamu, mamnu' min as-sarf, because it's a feminine proper noun. Fatimatu, feminine proper noun. Abbasun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Hamzatu, yes, this is masculine proper noun, but it has ta marbuta, so it's also mamnu' min as-sarf. Masajidu, mamnu' min as-sarf, comes on the scale of mafa'ilu. Kutubun, kutubun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Aqlamun, aqlamun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Manadilu, manadilu, mafa'ilu, mamnu' min as-sarf. Buyutun, buyutun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Zumala'u, fu'ala'u, this is mamnu' min as-sarf. Landanu, mamnu' min as-sarf, foreign proper noun. Sufyanu, mamnu' min as-sarf, proper noun that has alif and noon additional. Hamidun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Ahmadu, mamnu' min as-sarf. It's a proper noun on the scale of af'alu. Ibrahimu, mamnu' min as-sarf, foreign proper noun. Makkatu, feminine proper noun. Zainabu, feminine proper noun. Asdiqa'u, comes on the scale of af'ila'u, mamnu' min as-sarf. Mudarrisatun. Mahmudun. Baghdadu, mamnu' min as-sarf. Jamilun. Kabirun. Akbaru, this is mamnu' min as-sarf. Mujtahidun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Tawilun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Kaslanu, adjective with alif and noon additional to its end, mamnu' min as-sarf. Tullabun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Fuqara'u, fu'ala'u, mamnu' min as-sarf. Aliyun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Pakistanu, foreign proper noun, mamnu' min as-sarf. Ammarun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Sayyaratun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Ahmaru, mamnu' min as-sarf. Adjective that comes on the scale of af'alu. Ismailu, foreign proper noun. Barisu, feminine proper noun or foreign proper noun actually. Babun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Qalamun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Madarisu, mamnu' min as-sarf. Mafa'ilu. Juddatu, mamnu' min as-sarf, feminine proper noun, name of a place. Mafatihu, mafa'ilu, mamnu' min as-sarf. Madrasatun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Mal'anu, adjective with alif and noon additional, mamnu' min as-sarf. Makatibu, mafa'ilu. Qaribun, not mamnu' min as-sarf. Usamatu, masculine proper noun with ta marbuta. طيب, so Muhammadun, Khalidun, Maryam, Fatimatu, Abbasun, Hamzatu, names of people. Masajidu, plural of masjid. Kutubun, plural of kitab, books. Aqlamun, pens. Manadilu, handkerchiefs. Buyutun, houses. Zumala'u, colleagues. London, name of a place. Sufyan, name of a person. Hamid, Ahmad, Ibrahim, names of people. Makkah, name of a place. Zainab, name of a woman. Asdiqa'u, friends. Mudarrisatun, feminine teachers. Mahmud, name of a person. Baghdad, place. Jamilun, description, means beautiful. Kabirun, big. Akbaru can mean greater than or larger than. Kabir is just a standard. This is large. Akbar means larger than. طيب, Akbar means bigger. مجتهد hardworking. طويل tall. كسلان lazy. طلاب students. فقراء poor. علي name of a person. Pakistan country. عمار name of a person. سيارات cars. أحمر red. إسماعيل name of a person. باريس is Paris. باب door. قلم pen. مدارس is the plural of madrasatun. Madaris schools. Jeddah, sometimes it comes with Jeddah as well, is a place in Saudi. Jeddah, yeah. مفاتيح keys. مدرسة school. ملآن full. مكاتب desks. قريب close. أسامة name of a person. الكلمات الجديدة new words. الفنجان teacup. فناجين teacups ممنوع من الصرف. المدرسة school. مدارس that's the plural. المسجد مسجد. مساجد plural. الدقيقة is a minute. دقائق minutes. قال قالت. He said she said. المنديل is handkerchief. مناديل is the plural. المفتاح key. مفاتيح key. أبيض white. أحمر red. أخضر green. أسود black. أزرق blue. أصفر yellow. طيب, we have finished the 22nd lesson. All that's left is lesson 23 and we have completed this book. May Allah give us tawfiq to reach lesson 23 so we can complete this book بإذن الله تعالى. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.